All right, so now what we're going to do is create proxies for our TV show playlists and our season playlists. So to do this, it's really simple. We're going to jump into models.py and do class TV show proxy. And of course, it takes in the playlist itself and class meta and proxy being true. Okay, and then class season proxy takes in playlist, and then class meta proxy equals to true. Okay, so of course that's the TV show season proxy, so maybe we want to call this TV show season proxy just to be a little bit more verbose, and then in the actual verbose name we can just call this season, and then verbose name plural, call it seasons. And perhaps the same thing being true, we don't need to show that it's a proxy, so we can just say TV show and TV shows. Cool. So now that I've got these proxies, there is maybe something else I want to do here, and that is class TV show proxy manager takes in models.manager. In fact, I actually am going to inherit from the playlist manager, the default manager that I have there. And I'm going to override the all method. And in this case, I'm going to return self.get query set and then .filter. And in this case, I want to do parent is null being true. Okay, because we have a TV show being that the parent method, or whatever the TV show is, it won't have a parent, right? So no matter what, the TV show will not have a parent. So that's why we're doing that. And we'll go ahead and do objects equals to that TV show proxy manager. Okay, so same kind of concept being true for the TV show season manager. So TV show season manager, but this time is null is false. Okay, so there we go. Objects equals to that. Great. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and run our migrations. So Python manage.py make migrations, and Python manage.py migrate, and Python manage.py test. Looking good so far. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and bring in the TV show proxy first into our admin. So TV show proxy, and it's going to be identical to this one, or close to identical to this one, except I'm not going to have the playlist inline, playlist item inline. So TV show proxy admin, TV show proxy, and there we go. Okay, so we save that, and let's run the server. Python manage.py, run server. And let's go into our playlist. Now I've got TV shows here, and we're still getting the same proxy. Okay, so it's actually giving us still of the parent, the TV show proxy parent is null being true. It's actually not correct, right? So this one right here actually has the incorrect parent item here. So let's go ahead and change this in a couple different ways. But before I do, I actually want to test this. So Python manage.py shell. Let's go ahead and import the TV show proxy itself. So from playlists.models, we're going to go import that TV show proxy and do query set objects.all and qs. Why is it giving me two different things? Well, the admin doesn't necessarily follow that query set. So let's just be explicit on the query set we want for it. And in this case, we'll just return the TV show proxy.objects.all. And the query set method is actually get query set in here. And it also takes in the request as another argument here. Okay, so now that we've got that, let's go ahead and run the server. So Python manage.py, run server. Okay, so we refresh in here. Now it's back to being just 2. Okay, so we can do the same thing with the seasons proxy. But what I actually want to do first is have this as an inline. So similar to like what we did with the playlist item. We'll come back to that in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and do class TV show season proxy inline. and this is admin.tabular inline. And the model is going to be the TV show, extra being 0, and then the actual fields that I want. So in this case, I want order, title, and maybe state. Okay, so those are the fields that we had that are probably most relevant to this. Okay, so I definitely do not need the parent element because of how foreign keys work in the admin. It wouldn't render anyway. The order I want, the title I want. I don't want videos or anything like that because this is just an inline. This is going to go along with the TV show. So we'll go ahead and do inlines is equal to that. Great. So far, so good. Let's refresh in here. I'm going to click on any given TV show. And I've got The Office in here, and I've got 1 season. So I added this off video, but let's go ahead and add another one. So season 2, and we'll say publish, and we hit save. Notice that I'm getting an error or field required on this TV show proxy. So that means there's a couple things wrong. Number one, parent itself should not actually have a required field. It shouldn't be required, so we'll have to change that. But before I even do that, what I want to do also is inside of the TV show proxy admin, I want to add in the fields that I actually want, which in this case will be title, description, video, slug, and state and active. Okay, so we'll go ahead and try and remember that off of the top of our heads. So title, description, state, video, that's the featured video, and then maybe slug. Okay, so let's go ahead and look back in here. And now we've got a little bit better of what I was hoping for. So let's go ahead and bring in season 2 now. Make this publish, hit save and continue, and sure enough, it works. Okay, great. So now that we've got this TV show admin, if I go back in here, the unfortunate thing is I actually have no way to see the seasons themselves to add videos to those seasons. So now what I'm going to do is actually add in another one. This one's actually going to emulate the original playlist a lot closer, in the sense that it will have that playlist item inline, at least for now, that's what we'll call it. But I'm also going to use the TV show proxy admin instead of the playlist or the original playlist. And I'll just call this season episode inline. Okay. So now we should actually have the TV show season show up as well. So if I refresh in there, I've got seasons now, and this is showing me, well, it's showing me all those playlists again. So yet again, I need to update the query set method, the default query set method for what's showing up there. And this time it's TV show season proxy. Okay, so we refresh in here. And now I can actually go into, The Office season 1. Now, of course, this actually doesn't look great. So we'll go ahead and do list display. And I'm going to give it a title, and then we'll go ahead and give it a parent, whatever the parent is. So we'll refresh inside of seasons. Now I see that it says playlist object, so perhaps I want to give it a little bit of a better name there. I'm not going to do that just yet. You'll see why in a little bit. But now I've got The Office season 1. So these are actually the same thing, I think. So I'm going to go back into my TV shows and do the same thing and give my title in here. So let's go ahead and do list display and title. Okay, so I've got 2 of these. Let's go ahead and just delete one of them. Doesn't actually matter which one. Now, of course, if I go into seasons now, I see season 1 and 2. But back into TV shows, it actually set all of those old ones as null, right? So this actually gives us one of the problems that we actually currently have with this setup, or how these proxies work. So we've got null being true in here, and that's why we actually see those other season playlists, but I can go ahead and delete these as well. Okay, so now I only have 1 TV show with 2 seasons. Okay, so if we go back into playlists, we've got, back into seasons, we now see the seasons of these things. And what I would want to do with this is just add a class __str And what this is going to do for us, or not class, but define str, we want to return self.title. And what that's going to do is nothing. That's because I actually need to add this on to here. Okay, so we add that on there, and now it actually shows me what the parent is. So this will also be true when I go into TV shows now. If I actually had the parent showing up, it would. If I go into playlists, it now shows me all of the different playlists that are currently available. But of course, I want actually TV shows and seasons, and then inside of that, I'm going to go ahead and be able to edit the different episodes that are corresponding to these seasons. But right now, it just says playlist items. But now I can actually have season 1 has one episode or one video in it, and then the TV shows now have two seasons. One season has one episode. So total of one total episode inside of this TV show. But as you can see, using these proxies actually give us a huge benefit, but we're actually missing one major thing on these playlists is the type, right? So we want to actually add a type field in the playlist itself so we can have a little bit more robust proxies. Our proxies are fine, but we actually want to declare it a little bit more specific, because in some cases, yeah, maybe it's only going to be the parent items. That might be true. But in other cases, maybe it's not. Maybe we actually have a movie that has several parts, part 1, 2, and 3, and that's still considered one big movie, so it might be a playlist, not actually a TV show. So we do want to add one more field in here, so let's do that now.